Analyzing the ethical behaviors or considerations and potential biases in social psychological research and experiments is of paramount importance for several compelling reasons. Ethical considerations are crucial for safeguarding the well-being and rights of research participants. Analyzing these considerations ensures that participants are treated with respect, are not harmed, and provide informed consent. So this ethical foundation is essential for maintaining public trust in research. Addressing potential biases is critical for validity and reliability of research findings. Biases, whether they are in the selection of participants, data collection, or data analysis, can distort results and lead to incorrect conclusions. Thorough analysis helps maintain the scientific integrity of social psychological research. Careful consideration of potential biases in sample selection and methodology enhances the generalizability of research findings. Bias samples or methodologies that favor certain groups can limit applicability of findings to broader populations. Analyzing ethical considerations ensures that researchers adhere to ethical guidelines and regulations. Now, this is not only protects participants but also holds researchers accountable for their actions and ethical responsibilities in conducting research. Ethical considerations help researchers avoid causing harm, distress, or stigmatization to participants, especially when studying sensitive topics. Ethical analysis encourages researchers to minimize potential negative consequences of their study. Of course, openly addressing ethical considerations and potential biases promotes research transparency. Transparent reporting allows other researchers to assess the validity of findings and helps the scientific community replicate and build previous research. Public perception of field of social psychology and science as a whole is influenced by ethical conduct of research. Maintaining ethical standards and addressing biases enhances public trust in research and its contribution to society. Many areas of social psychology focus on topics with significant social and societal implications such as prejudice, discrimination, and group dynamics. Ensuring ethical conduct and minimizing biases in research can lead to evidence-based interventions and policies that promote positive social change. Ethical and unbiased research contributes to the advancement of knowledge in social psychology, allows researchers to explore and understand complex social phenomena, uncover hidden biases, and develop more accurate theories and models. So with analyzing ethical considerations and potential biases in social psychological research and experiments, it is vital for upholding the ethical standards of the field, producing valid and reliable findings, ensuring research transparency, and safeguarding well-being and rights of research participants. By addressing these concerns, social psychologists can contribute to the generation of meaningful insights that benefit individuals and whole society. In a study examining the effects of peer pressure on adolescent behavior, for example, researchers must obtain informed consent from both the adolescents and their parents or guardians. Failure to do so would violate ethical standards as participants have the right to be fully informed about the study and voluntarily agree to participate. Consider a study investigating bystander intervention in emergency situations. Researchers may simulate an emergency and deceive participants about the nature of experiment. To address this ethical concern, researchers must thoroughly debrief participants after the study, explain the deception and its purpose, Another example, in a study exploring the effects of online harassment, participants must be exposed to potentially distressing content. Researchers have an ethical obligation to minimize harm and provide resources for psychological support if needed. The briefing should also include information about the coping strategies. When studying sensitive topics such as sexual orientation or stigmatized identities, researchers must ensure that participants' identities and responses are kept confidential. So this protects participants from potential harm or discrimination as a result of their participation. Suppose a researcher studying political attitude recruits participants exclusively from single social media platform known for its strong political bias. This can introduce selection bias, may not represent the broader population's political diversity. A researcher studying the effects of media violence on aggression might have a preconceived belief in the link between the two. This confirmation bias can unconsciously influence how they interpret and report the study's findings. In a study on prejudice, for example, participants may provide socially desirable responses rather than expressing their true attitude. So these bias can occur when participants fear judgment or want to appear more socially acceptable. When conducting observations in a classroom to study teacher-student interaction, an observer may unconsciously focus on negative interaction due to their pre-existing beliefs about a particular teaching style. So this observer bias can affect the accuracy of data collection. And a study examining self-esteem may use a questionnaire developed and validated in one cultural context. When applied to a different cultural group, it may not accurately measure self-esteem due to cultural differences in the understanding and expression of self-esteem. Again, addressing and mitigating these ethical considerations and potential biases is essential for conducting rigorous and valid social psychological research. Researchers must adhere to ethical guidelines, employ appropriate research methodologies, and actively work to minimize biases in their study design, data collection, and data analysis. Also, transparency in reporting methods and findings is crucial to help address potential biases and ethical concerns in social psychology research.